hello, hello. It's a cold morning. And you're thinking, why has he got a mask on? He's all by himself. One can never be too sure. No, I'm just saying that my new rule, flying with others, is to put a mask on. Because it's kind of like you don't want to be the soldier in the war that's the last one to die before the ceasefire. The first thing we're going to do, I wanted to zoom in on the camera here. Now, because I have the iPad and the Flight Stream 510 from Garmin, I'm going to plug in some external power. So when you start up the GTN 750, it shows that you're connected to the iPad, and then it says Open Garmin Pilot. And what it's going to do, it's going to search for database updates, which I downloaded. They can download automatically. So it's going to be coming up in a second. Checking for database updates. There's a whole slew of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, navigation, obstacle, safe taxi, flight charts, airport directory. So we're going to start loading these. I'll go to GPS 2 and put the map up here, and then over here on the G600, I'm going to tell the G600 to use GPS 2 for navigation. Okay, so that's going to take a bit, so we're going to go. I'd like to do that on a VFR flight rather than an IFR flight, because it takes about a half an hour to load everything and have it all transfer over. There is, however, one terrain map that will not, it's too large to go over wirelessly, so you have to take the SD card out on your Fly Garmin account and put that in manually. All right, what are we doing now, Jerry? What are we doing now? Okay, we're warmed up. We're going to do the all-important checklist. As I fly today, I want to tell you what I'm doing and why. It's a good reason just to know what I'm doing and why, rather than just seeing it done or not seeing it done. All right, now the checklist. Every time, the checklist. Okay, all-important checklist is complete. And while I was doing the checklist, the number one GTN 750 is going through the database checks. So it's software version 6.7, GPS version 5.3, and it's showing that all of my charts are good until the end of January, end of February. The terrain is a 20T1, and this chart, it's updating. So it'll take a while to update the flight charts.
Analysis verified.
So while we can wait for it to update another few minutes here. Now on this side, I know I got the wide look. You just have to trust me reading it. Chart database valid until December 31st of 2020. So it's expired. But what's happening is this is going to push it over. The Flight Stream 510 pushes it over from one to the other, and I'll show you where. If you go to the main, not the map, you go to the main menu, you go to System Status, it shows you your databases. There's a base map, obstacle, terrain, safe taxi. So there's the flight charts, and it's good until December 31st. And as soon as this updates, it'll start sending it over to here. It disables in 6 months on June 29th of 2021. So if you get a plane and nobody's done the charts, they won't even show up there as expired. So we're going to use this for our map. We know we're in Auburn. We're going to go, guess where? Oakland. Okay, there it is. Flight charts current until January 21st. Now let's go back to the system status, and see if it's starting to send it over.
That program is available.
Make it so.
Database, so here it goes. Database sync in progress. View system status page for more info. So we go back, and we go to standby. Is it on that? Yep. Standby. Navigation database transfer in process. 21%, 24%. So that's good. So we're going to do our usual traffic here, map here. We're going to go back to GPS 1. And we are good to go. 22.7, our departure will be 27.4. There's noise abatement procedure here for both runways. We're going to adhere to those. Let's put the sunglasses on the panel camera so that it darkens this and exposes correctly for here. All right, that touch and go guy was done. I think we're good to go. Upper traffic, Golden Eagle, 513 Sierra Juliet, taking runway 7 with a right crosswind departure, departing area to the south, Auburn. All right, so this was going to be a sunrise video, but Mrs. Air Wagner had other ideas for this morning. It's garbage day tomorrow. She told me to take the garbage out, so that's why I was delayed. All right, let's time check, function enter, traffic check, DG double check on the runway, fuel pumps on, rich. All right, so first thing we look at is fuel flow. Make sure your engines are working, and then airspeed. Make sure the airspeed's working. All right. Slowly add power. You don't want to shock it, add a whole lot of power. Fuel flow's coming up nicely. All right, they're in the high 40s per side. That's good. Airspeed is alive. There's 50, 60.
Engine increase to warp 9.
70. We rotate at 95. 80. 95. We're committed. A little bit of back pressure. Tap the brakes to keep the wheels from spinning and putting up mud or dirt or stuff. And we climb out at blue line. Blue line is 110 on this plane. It's the safe single engine speed. If you lost an engine, you want to maintain blue line for best climb performance.
Fascinating.
That's what I say, pitch for blue line. We got a bright sun there out the front. Upper traffic, Golden Eagle 513 Sierra Juliet, transitioning from the departure leg on 7 to right crosswind, leaving 2,500, departing area to the south, Auburn. So there's our noise abatement procedures.
Are you quite sure?
The valley was fogged in, not so bad. All right, so as we get at 1,000 AGL, we can set our power up to whatever you want. I've been using a little less than 75% power because this plane has plenty of power. So I've been doing 31 inches of manifold pressure and 1,800 RPM. It's a little quieter, uses a little less gas, and then 21 gallons an hour. And we check the TITs, which is the turbo inlet temperature. It's like an exhaust gas temperature, but it's a combination of all of them. Optimum is 1525 for temperature. RAM says no more than 1650, but you don't want to go maximum, that's for sure. These engines are geared engines. They are expensive to replace. All right, so we're going to set this up. So I'm bringing it back. So I'll bring it back slowly to 21 and see where the temps settle in. So there's 21.2, 21.6. And we're settling in at 1,511 on one side, 1,520, 1,530, 1,535, and 15. I like that. So we're going to start the scan going. We're climbing to 4,500 here on the left. I put in my pre-select. We're going to get a little bit of right rudder to coordinate, and we're going to call departure. NorCal, good morning. Golden Eagle 513 Sierra Juliet, VFR request.
November 513 Sierra Juliet, NorCal approach.
Good morning, 513 Sierra Juliet, Golden Eagle 421 slant golf, just departed Auburn for Oakland, about to level off at 4,500, request VFR flight following. He'll give me a squawk.
November 3 Sierra Juliet, squawk 0336.
0336, 3 Sierra Juliet. So the squawk is a transponder code. The transponder is a unit. Okay, so let's stop for a second. So altitude hold came on because I reached 4,500 on this gauge. This is the one that is using
November 3 Sierra Juliet, contact 5 miles south of Auburn. Say your altitude, Sacramento, altimeter 3026.
3026, 3 Sierra Juliet puts us 4,600.
And you're staying there?
Good to go down 100 feet to 40,500.
November 3 Sierra Juliet, roger.
All right, so you know, I like to be accurate. What the heck? So the transponder I was talking about, where he gave me a transponder code.
Is now current. Expect ILS 17.
Here's your transponder, 0336. Here it is here. A lot of them are hidden. And what that does is it puts out a pulse and tells the controllers who you are, where you're going, what you're doing, where your altitude is, you know, all of that information. That's used by the military. They have one for a friend or foe. So like for the day, they'll have a code in the transponder that only the military knows. And that's because they don't want the enemy to know what the code is. So if a target is coming up on an aircraft carrier or a surface base and they're broadcasting the friendly code, well, they're friendly. They're not going to fire on them. But if they don't have the code for the day or they have the wrong code, they're going to get shot. Okay?
Do not fire until fired upon.
And that's going to happen. So that's the
Juliet, fly heading 180, vector around Sacramento International.
30 Juliet, left turn 180. All right, so he wants us to 180. We'll put it on heading 180. So the red you see here is the terrain behind us, which is red, yellow. Yellow means you're within 1,000 feet. Red means you're within 100 feet, or you're below it. And so these are the Sierra Mountains. Here's Tahoe Valley and Squaw Valley. But you know, we got the big ring here, the 10-mile ring. Green, you know, green is fine. All right, so that's the reason why I do what I do to get set up. These are scanning the engine. As long as they're scanning, if I glance over and see that they're scanning, then I know that everything is within the parameters. But if I look over and they stopped, it'll stop and flash on the problem. If it's a low cylinder or hot cylinder, it'll tell you the difference between them. So if this is within parameters, so it just keeps going. So that's good. So we're just going to sit here and cruise and wait for the next controller. He might be doing all of them. There's some messages because I'm getting all sorts of, you know, database sync in progress, cross-fill error because the navigational database is mismatched, right, because it's sending over the other one. And so let's just take a look and see here. We're going to leave that for traffic because that works fine. Let's go to menu here and system status. So here's the active page. Navigation's good, database, terrain, safe taxi, flight charts, they're all fully loaded. Here's the standby. Navigation database, complete. On card, complete. So everything on this one is complete, but this guy, if we go over, and you have to manage your, you know, if you have these, if you have this stuff, you need to manage it, okay? System status, standby, what percent is it at? All right, here's the flight charts. Database transfer in progress. It's only 2%. So it's going to take a while. And if you do it in a hangar without external power, 3%, we're getting there. So I just look straight ahead, and I'm like, Mount Diablo is usually in front of me. Well, it's over to the right. If you look out the front camera, you can see Mount Diablo way out in the distance, and we're over that thin layer of fog over the valley, which is typical for the winter. We're just about to come up on Sacramento Mather.
November 3 Sierra Juliet, resume your own navigation.
3 Sierra Juliet, resuming ONAV.
That was 38.
All right, so I reactivate the direct. I switch it down from heading to GPSS. And you can see we're in a turn now and heading for the magenta line. On the G600, your magenta line is your active course, and if there was a white line, it would be the standby, the next course. We are set up in cruise here. We're how long into the flight? 12 minutes into the flight, talking to 27.4. So here is a little trip around the G600. No, it's not a TXI. You can touch it and it won't do anything. Unfortunately, it's not a TXI. I sure wish that Garmin made the TXI fit in the same footprint here, but c'est la vie. So here we are we're on the GPS 1, which is GTN 750. We're on GPSS. If I was to switch it, let me just square it up. If I was to switch it to heading, then it goes to heading and the GPSS goes away here. If I switch it back, GPSS and the heading goes away here. And we are 8:10 in the morning, it's 47 degrees outside. I got a tailwind of 1 and a crosswind of 5. This is the direction the wind is coming. And it's very light and variable today. Usually it shows up in here. Now I'm not sure. That's okay. We're on map number 1. Let's hit clear and go to map number. Okay, we're on map 2. We're on map 1 now. So there's our wind, 5 knots from straight across here. So because it's not a TXI, you have to look over and say, okay, it's coming from 120 at 5. You got, it doesn't do everything for you. Our true airspeed, TAS, is 185 knots. Our ground speed is 185 because we have 0 tailwind now, so it matches 185. I'm powered back a little bit. We're indicating 173, which matches the airspeed. And the LE you see here is landing gear extension speed, so we're just under landing gear extension speed. The landing gear expansion speed doesn't go by your ground speed, it goes by what the airplane thinks the wind is. It's called the relative wind. Here's our turn coordinator. We are coordinated, and this is our course pointer. Tells you what you're looking for. It's a green circle. These are the flight director bars. If I was to, I'll put the flight. Hey, let me do this. I'll put the flight director on for a second here. No, I won't. I don't feel like changing the pitch because they'll pitch up for the go around. And we're doing 200. We're doing 207, and direct track's 208. So we might as well just say we're on course. It's just a slight correction because of a very slight crosswind of 3. That's why we're off 1 degree. We're bugged at 2500. This is my secondary bug. My primary bug is the pre-selector. This is our altitude tape, 4,520 or 4,510. Our barometer, local barometer, 3026. This is our vertical speed indicator, which is neutral because we're straight and level. And then nav 1, nav 2, this tells you that the nav 1 would be the single line. And let me just put nav 2 on Sacramento VOR, and you'll see the double line show up. So you got double line, single line as the backup. And then here, of course, is our map on the right side. You can zoom in some and see where we're at. If you want to get a flight chart, you go to flight plan page. Chart not available because it's also updating from the GTN 750.
Double Sierra, NorCal approach, Sacramento altimeter is...
So that is all there is. I'm happy to see the charts are showing up here on the GTN 750. They've been showing up on a pretty regular basis. So I'm happy to see that. And we're just going to sit here and cruise and wait for the next instruction. I am going to turn the heat off. It is warm. One thing I did off camera was turn off the fuel pumps earlier. You can leave them on. Alan likes to teach leaving them on until you get to your cruising altitude. If I'm over hostile terrain or bad weather, I'll leave them on just because I want to keep things the way they are and running well. Looking out the front window, you can make out, let me put the nose down. I use the control wheel steering button, which lets me bypass the autopilot. Push the nose down a little bit, and you can see, the low clouds and also some of the trees sticking up through them. That tells you that it is low fog. When the trees are sticking up, it's down to the deck. Don't even think about it.
Contact, climb and maintain 50190. November 3 Sierra Juliet, contact approach 125.1.
25-1, 3 Sierra Juliet. Thanks, and good morning. NorCal, good morning. Golden Eagle 5 and 3 Sierra Juliet checking on. We're climbing 3,600 for 4,500.
Golden Eagle 513 Sierra Juliet, NorCal approach. Good morning. Stock altimeter 3028.
3 Sierra Juliet. All right, 3028. We'll put it in both. Plane has a lot of momentum. When you learn to fly twins, that's one thing that you're told is that you're in a heavier airplane now, and you have a lot of momentum. And, you know, they will continue in the direction you put them, whether it's a climb or a descent. So as I put the nose down a little bit to take a peek at something outside, it kept the momentum going. So we're a little bit past our halfway point. We got probably 15 minutes, 14 minutes to Oakland. As I level off here, we're going to pick up some speed. Because the estimated time en route is all computed on your current airspeed. So I was in a climb. It shows 1610, 16 is going down below. Now it's in the 15s, 42 miles. You know, good rule of thumb is 421 will do 3 miles a minute.
Traffic 12 o'clock, 10 miles, maneuvering stock, 4,000, maintain VFR at or above 4,500.
3 Sierra Juliet will be sure to stay over 4,500, and looking out the window, looks like 8 might echo. All right, double clicks from him means that's the guy. He's doing 91 knots. Our closing rate is 84 knots. That means I'll be on top of them in what, minute and a half? If you're doing 3 miles. If you're doing 3 miles a minute, no, it'd be 2 minutes because it's half of that.
Over to tower, have a good day, 5 Leo.
Closing rate 114 knots now. And we're looking for him, he's below us. Pretty hard to see at 10 miles. So now our closing rate's 131 knots, so let's say it's 2 miles a minute. So we'll pass him in 5 minutes, we're 12 minutes out, so. And 3 Sierra Juliet, negative contact on the traffic. Is he going to Oakland also?
This 3 Sierra Juliet, negative, just maneuvering.
Okay, because I'll catch up to him in about 5 minutes. 138 Mike Echo. He's on the edge of the Shiloh Wind Farms. All right, now we're going to go to the ATIS for Oakland. We should be close enough, 34 miles, to hear it.
0,000 centered, 020,000 broken. Temperature 6, 2.3, altimeter 3026. ILS and visual approach, runway 30 and 28 right. Caution, range 1.2 nautical miles west-northwest, at 270 feet above ground level. Caution, first near airport. Advise on initial contact. You have information November. Oakland ATIS information November, 15530. Wind 010 at 4. Visibility 9er. 10,000 centered, feeling 20,000 broken. Temperature 6, 2.3, altimeter 3026. ILS and
Okay, we got all the ATIS information. Strange wind, 010.
If November 3 Sierra Juliet, altitude your discretion.
3 Sierra Juliet, we'll delete the altitude restriction. All right, we're 9 minutes out. Start reducing power. So when I say, you know, we want to not shock cool, the idea is to reduce your engine power gradually. A good rule of...
Juliet, gun approach 135.1.
35-1, just curious, what happened to Travis today?
No 32 Juliet. Travis is still working. We just worked you through the airspace, that's all.
I appreciate that. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. NorCal, good morning. Golden Eagle 513 here, Juliet. Checking on 4,500. We got the ATIS at Oakland.
Number 513 Sierra Juliet, NorCal, approach enter right base from me 28 right, and the ATIS you have this November?
You know, I forgot what it was, but I did hear it. I can repeat it to you if you want. 3026010 at 3 or 4 knots.
Number 3 Sierra Juliet, I'll just give you updated weather here. On the 1556 Zulu observation, wind calm, visibility, oh, I'm sorry. I think you had the right one. I was looking at the wrong one. 010 at 4, visibility 9er, altimeter 3026.
3 Sierra Juliet, thanks. And was it November?
Roger, thanks.
Range 1.2.
Okay, so we got that. All right, so let's start a little descent here.
Radar contact.
So when I arm the pre-selector, this is your pre-select altitude, it takes away the altitude hold from the autopilot and lets you go down. So we're going to go down a comfortable 400 or 500 feet a minute. So we've established contact with 35-1. They're probably working us all the way 18-3. So thanks to Margaret, how to get rid of the visual icon that steals one of your data fields. When you're on the map field, you go to menu, you go to map setup, and then the third one down is the visual approach selector. You tap that, you can choose at what nautical miles from your destination the little icon stealer shows up. 2.5, 4, 5, 7, all the way to 25. The top one goes to off. So I leave it off, and it doesn't come up, because if you're an instrument approach and your waypoint is here, you don't have to do the mental calculations. You can just look and see what your estimated time is to your next waypoint. I did, however, leave it on the GTN Copilot side, reduce some more power. And I left it there so it'll pop up. So what we're going to do is...
Traffic 11 o'clock and 3 miles maneuvering, 4,500 indicated.
Okay, 3 Sierra Juliet looking for the traffic, and we're pushing the nose down just a little harder. So he's 4,500. So what I'll do here is I'll put traffic up here, and then I'll go to the map on this one. They'll match, but you'll see here in 6 miles how that will show up.
Left turn direct Seagull up to 190, Southwest 3389.
So he should be no factor now since I'm down to below 3,000. It's 2874 Zulu. Going 62 knots. So here we're coming up. We just armed. We're locking it in. We'll cross the hills to 2,500. Just crossing over Highway 680, which runs up and down the what valley is this? I don't know. Dublin, San Ramon Valley. And so at the Garmin default is at 10 miles out, your little traffic icon. So we're 10.7, 10.6. You'll see the left one won't have that little icon. 10.3. There's 10 miles. Bingo. Visual. This one stayed. Now if I choose it, visual for 28 right.
Number 3 Sierra Juliet, contact Oakland Tower, 118.3, good day.
3 Sierra Juliet, Tower 18.3, thanks. Good morning. Tower, good morning. Golden Eagle 513 Sierra Juliet, checking on 9 out with you for landing, airport in sight.
Golden Eagle 513 Sierra Juliet, Oakland Tower, continue on the right base entry, runway 28 right, clear to land, wind 320 at 5.
Clear to land 28 right, right base, 3 Sierra Juliet. All right, so she wants me on the base. Let's just slide over a touch here, because the autopilot's heading for the airport. Okay, so the reason why it's not cross-filling over, it's only on this, because the visual, because it's doing cross-fill, it's doing the map charts back and forth, so I'm not getting the visual on this one. So let's go ahead and do it the long way. Load procedure, approach. Way down here is the visual to 28 right. There it is. Load, approach, and activate. Okay, so we're going to do that, activate. Now we're going to get, it defaults to V3NM, which is visual 3 nautical miles. If I said, okay, let's go to that, you can see the course that it would do. And the autopilot will fly it inbound also. All right, we're crossing over the hills now. Let's descend for the airport. Since we're going downhill, I'll go ahead and do the Papa Gumps pressurization check, air conditioner off, prop sync off, auxiliary pumps on, gas on mains, pumps, undercarriage, first notch of flaps. 1, 2, 3, mixtures up. And let's just shove the nose down here because we're a tad high. And we're clear to land 28 right. Gear is confirmed out the window with the mirror. Autopilot off. We're within full flap speed. We're going to put full flaps down. And let's just throw out some speed brakes too while we're at it. Now see here, you can see the magenta line. That's our final line. So if you're not familiar with an airport, you put the visual in, you can fly that in. And you see we got a glide slope also with the diamond. All right, gas check undercarriage, got 3 greens, mixtures up, props where I want them, lose the speed brakes. Oakland has a left runway and a right runway here, so a lot of times I like to kind of angle in rather than square it off. You never know when somebody's on the left doing touch and goes. Pattern altitude for the right is 1,000, pattern altitude for the left is 600. Field elevation here is like what, 9 feet? Used to be 6 feet, 9 feet. All right, we're just inside a blue line. A little high in the glide slope. There comes one of the VASI lights, red. There's a second one, red. 3 seagulls went by. All right, we got rich mixture. And let's try a slow landing. Let's try where we just sit here and slow it way down. We just can't do it. It just doesn't fly, and there it is. We're down.
Golden Eagle 3 Sierra Juliet, say parking.
3 Sierra Juliet, ports.
3 Sierra Juliet, turn right at Juliet, and Juliet Delta to parking with me.
Juliet Delta to parking with you, 3 Sierra Juliet. That's how I like it. Non-eventful flight.
Information November.
November 28740 Oakland Tower.
It's a bright day now.
Yes, we are Cherokee 28740.
All right.
All right, so I unplugged the microphone. My shutdown procedure. Make sure the fuel pumps are off. Idle down to like 1,000. Radios. Pull the mixture back. So what we say when we're in training is all radios, all rockers, mixture, mags, master, key over and out. Put the key on top. This twin Cessna, they don't have a key. And then headsets off, because I don't have the Limo jacks for the Bose headsets. That's all she wrote.